Yeah, yeah. Wow, we are going
Just
way
like
too fancy on this. I guess they
No,
screwed
I'm
music
not
archives, right?
finding that song. We're using that audio clip of me doing that.
I was hoping that was the case. All right,
we just have a
sounds
little.
good. Ching, 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 ching. All right. And three, two, one. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you are in the world, and welcome to a very special edition of Nutella Sandwich. Usually we were on at Tuesday at 11 p.m. Believe it or not, we have not been on air for 5 years, and that's because we have graduated college and we are settled into our different lives all around the world. We're going to tell you a bit about that and a lot more. But just to introduce the show, we started off at KORD radio station back in Moorhead, Minnesota, part of Concordia College. It started off as a fun project where three guys just got to hang out, take calls, and play some music, and generally just talk about what is happening. We're more or less going to be doing the same thing, but today, because the format is slightly different since we're 5 years out, we're going to tell you a bit about what's been happening since then and sort of like retrospectively think about college. What we were like as freshmen, what we want to tell the freshman batch this year, what we want to tell the seniors this year, and more importantly, what we want to tell our classmates, the people we spent a ridiculous amount of time with all over campus and outside in Moorhead. With me, we have David Bowman and Ryan Wagner. We're going to get to them in a second, but I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Sudhir. I graduated in 2011 with a global studies and political science major with a business minor. Um, I am now currently doing my PhD in political science, is the best way to say it, over in King's College London. We have with me Ryan Wagner. Ryan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Ryan Wagner, math nerd, Harry Potter lover, and proud follower still of the season currently going on of Survivor, one of the few probably. While I was in college, I was a math and business major. I was on Res Life, did the whole RA, DA thing, loved it all. Currently in life, I am a software engineer. My actual role is a software test lead right now, working with people in Slovakia. I actually just got back from a week-long trip to Slovakia, visiting and getting to check out another country, which was awesome. I am married to another former Cobber, Mary Zay, now Mary Wagner, and we are living in the Twin Cities area, so anyone around the Twin Cities, if you want to get together, let me know. David, I'm looking forward to hearing your lovely radio voice, which will show up Sudhir and I.
All right, everyone. David Bowman here. Back in Concordia, I was an exercise science major with minors in psych and classical studies, which is probably about as random as combination as you can get. But since Concordia, I went to grad school at St. Catherine University in St. Paul to get my doctorate of physical therapy. Graduated with that back in 2014, and I've been working 2 years for Summit Orthopedics in Woodbury, Minnesota, as a physical therapist. I got married as well to another former Cobber, Trisha DeBilzen, now Bowman, in 2011. At Concordia, I did some things like Res Life, played a lot of Ultimate Frisbee, whole lot of Ultimate Frisbee. And also was involved with Campus Entertainment Commission as well. Did things like helping out with putting on the events like Corn Stalk and Grocery Bingo and Trivia Night. So a lot of things that I miss, but it was a great time and I'm happy with where things are at now. So I wouldn't do it any other way.
And for all potential employers of software engineers and physical therapists, you have David Bowman and Ryan Wagner's full resume right there. Uh, so the format we agreed on, gentlemen, and which is helpful for all our audiences, is we're going to be asking three questions, and this will take the format where we get to reflect on these experiences. The first question is going to be what would we tell the class of 2020? So that would be more or less the people who are in their freshman year right now. This is our chance to reflect on our years in college and just give them advice based on those stories. Question two would be what advice would we give graduating seniors about, life post-Concordia and all the fun adventures we've had since then. And then question three is what do we want to tell our graduating classmates who are coming over to homecoming this weekend, which is the main reason we are doing this show. because this is a very important session in the Concordia calendar. And I am not going to be there, unfortunately, but this is my way of being able to be there with you guys, and more importantly, reigniting some cool friendships with these guys. So, gentlemen, why don't we start off with the question? What do you want to tell the class of 2020? Ryan, why don't you go first?
First of all, holy cow, how are they already the class of 2020? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you figured that out, because when you said that, I was like, oh, hey, he's right.
Hey, you're the math nerd, but I can add 2016 plus 4.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
So I guess my first thing would be to take college seriously, but let yourself have a lot of fun. Don't get so wrapped up in it and worried about all of the classwork that you have to do that you can't have fun. This is truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Even if you go back to grad school and stuff after, it's never going to be the same as where you're at right now. The second thing, learn who you are. Grow from high school. Who you think you are leaving high school is a completely different person than who you think you are leaving college, and even that will be a completely different person than who you are 5 years out, and I imagine 10, 20 years out too. So let yourself learn who you are, take your experiences that you can, and figure out what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, what you believe in, and base your friendships around that, and take your friendships seriously.
Fantastic. Do you have any stories about our friendships and things like that?
So many stories. Like, for example, one of the best experiences was living in the halls. Really enjoy that. People joke about it, people will make fun of it, but it's such an awesome experience. You're living on a floor with, however many other individuals that have completely different or sometimes similar backgrounds to you, and you can learn from them and get to know them. So many of my close friends, even now, I started off on the same floor as. And just getting to hang out with them when my roommate was being crazy, which I won't go into too much right now for his sake, but let's just say you will have crazy roommate experiences, guaranteed. I think Sudhir has some safer stories he'll get to. But my ability to go down the hall and hang out with Sudhir and his roommate Scott was so awesome, and those type of experiences now, sometimes I just wish I could walk down the hall and hang out with friends, or go down a flight of stairs and hang out with other friends, and everyone is right around you. It's so awesome.
All right. Sorry, I'm going to jump in here, David, if that's okay, because we're talking about roommates.
Go for it.
Well, and for me, and I think most people on Concordia's campus heard about the fantastic duo that was Scott Michael Flancher, and Sudhir Selvaraj, coming to the US, to Minnesota for the first time. Obviously, you're scared out of your mind. And then you're just wondering what's the guy who you're going to live with for next year going to be like. Obviously, people know Scott for his antics and such. And he's very proud of these. I don't mind sharing these. But one of my favorite things Scott and I used to do, among the many, many random things, was to wake up early on Saturday morning and watch cartoons. And when we did, we would always have Mountain Dew and Lucky Charm cookies, if that's what it's called still. But I was there. But among them, that was sort of like the baseline thing. But Scott also used to do things like Kanye West Day, where we listened to Kanye West music for the whole time. And then I walked in on Scott listening to, I've been humming Kanye West songs in his sleep. I'm pretty sure Ryan walked in once on us, like having a conversation, both of us sleep talking and having a conversation with each other in our sleep too. Why our door was unlocked, I don't fully know, but that's what it was like to be in the too. So yeah, it was quite the exciting time. But be friends with your roommates, be friends with people. They're going to be around for a long time, I promise. What about you, David? What's your favorite word of advice to the class of 2020?
I think one of the big things is prioritizing all the fun things. I mean, it's obviously you're there to learn. That's the overarching theme of going to college. But you got to prioritize the fun and do it with the people that you feel comfortable with, and that you make lifelong friends out of. Because in college, if you're not getting in with one group, or there's so many ways to get involved, and there's so many different people that you can get to know and create a group of friends with. That if you're not finding your place, you just try something else. And it's one of the only times in life that you can do that, because there are so many different groups and different organizations you can get involved with that will allow you to get connected. The other thing I was going to say is take an interesting class, or a class that's in a field that you either don't know anything about or that you're really unsure of. You might find that it really piques some sort of curiosity or interest for you that you maybe didn't realize that you had.
Very cool. And David, you took like fun classes, and I think your favorite professor was Ed Schmoll, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's the reason I have a classical studies minor. I mean, I was always interested in some nerdy things like video games and whatnot, but there's just something about classical studies, like Greek mythology and Greek history and Latin and things that I was like, well, whatever, I'll try it out. And the first class I took in that department was with Professor Ed Schmoll, he was just the most hilarious, like dry, sarcastic, senile old guy that you'll ever meet. But he made the course so enjoyable. I took the first semester of Latin with him. I took Greek history with him. I went back and took mythology, and then through creative class registration, I was able to swing one of my last religion class to complete that minor. So I actually, when I graduated, then I had that minor in classical studies too. And it was mainly just because I really wanted to take classes with Dr. Schmoll.
Very cool. Ryan, you at college were one of the founding members of, basically one of the first few members of the Quidditch Club. Do you want to talk about that being a founding moment, a pivotal moment in your life, I would say?
Well, I've always loved Harry Potter, but like David said, there are so many opportunities to do things in college that to then take and actually try and start something new and like be one of the first to do that. And I hope it's still going on. I don't know if it is or not, but yeah, it adds another point to what David was saying of if you're not finding something you enjoy right now, look to something else. And you don't even have to limit that to what exists currently. Try something new, create something, start something. There's so many opportunities out there, and I highly recommend Quidditch be the thing you look to, but that's just me because it was awesome. And I happen to be friends with someone on the show who may or may not want to own up to this, but actually got hurt playing Quidditch. One of the only Quidditch
first ever Quidditch-related accident that ever took place in the continental United States, where I fractured my foot a few days before graduation. So I walked across graduation with a boot on my foot.
Those Quidditch injuries, man.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. People know David knows his stuff. So there's the klutz who probably hurt himself playing sports. So when you said somebody on the show, it's probably me. Let's be real.
I think everyone knew.
David, also there was one thing, and you can talk about this as an audience member, but another new thing that we got to do, which is a hell of a lot of fun, was a thing called the Men of East. So you, as one of our biggest fans and as our audience member, do you want to remind viewers and audience members what this was?
Well, for those of you it's pretty hard to forget, really. There was the group of guys who were RAs and maybe a couple others that were in East Complex. That was our junior year, wasn't it?
Yeah, junior year.
Yep, it was junior year, man. But the guys.
No, it was senior year. Sorry.
Anyway, the guys all thought that they could sort of dance when really it was just Shane. But regardless, no, it really was amazing. They made a mashup of songs, busted out some pretty classic dance moves, and we're all pretty well in sync. It was definitely the highlight of the welcome show or cabaret or whatever it ended up being, but definitely stole the show. I think it exists on YouTube somewhere, doesn't it?
It is.
It does, and we will include the link in the description of this, and hopefully if it's on screen right now. Ryan is our tech wizard, and he's going to be sorting all this out. So if not on screen, it'll be in the description. Fantastic, guys. I'm going to move on, and just so that the audience know, we're going to be sharing a lot of memories. So hopefully you enjoy walking on memory lane with us a little bit with this. So
And if you
yeah,
don't, we don't care because we're having fun.
yeah, all 7 audience members, which most likely includes our family members. Hi, mom. You guys are stuck with us. Sorry about that. All right. We're going to move on to the next question for the sake of time. What advice would you tell graduating seniors about the last year in college and maybe the first few years after that, and relate some personal stories from that too? David, why don't you go this time?
Uh, just to quickly interject here, the
Sure.
Men of Peace dance on YouTube actually has over 3,000 views, believe it or not.
Wow.
2,000 of those are Sadir.
Yeah, probably. Hey, okay.
It
In my
was to do
defense,
it was to do that posted it there too. So
it is also a great
you
pickup
guys have a
move,
best social
guys.
network.
Okay, some of us are still single, gentlemen. It is a great pickup move. Let me. Obviously, I'm not sure this is 2,000 people, but it is a great pickup move. Fantastic. Thanks, David, for adding
Right.
that.
Yeah, no problem. What was the question again? I already lost track.
What? Yeah, it happens. What advice would you give graduating seniors about the last year and their first few years out in the real, outside the Concordia bubble, rather?
Advice is keep in contact with people. It's something that I'm guilty of not doing very well with it. I do not take time to make phone calls or even send a quick text off to people, and that's something I want to do better with, and I want to stay more connected to the people that I spent a lot of time with during those 4 years I was at Concordia. So one of my big thing is stay connected. Stay connected to your friends. Stay connected to the college. I've been back for homecoming every single year. My wife
Nice.
and I go because we have friends that still live up in the area, and one of the only times of the year that we get to see them is when we go up for homecoming. And so it's just become a tradition for us that this is just what we do when October rolls around. We know that we need to plan for a weekend where we're headed up to Moorhead because
Very nice.
it's a great tradition, and it's great to, like you said, walk down memory lane and see all the sights and be at all the places that we spent so much time and had so many great
Right.
memories with.
Yeah. For me, it was really cool because I've come to Concordia once since I graduated. So in 2011 is when graduation was. I think I left on May 6th for the last time. And I thought I would be coming back this weekend for the first time. But I actually got a chance to come up in 2014 to do a play I had written. And it was great because I got a chance to just randomly see a whole bunch of people on campus. But even like accidentally bump into people. I remember we met Nick Weens and Manda Bertrand out at the Como Zoo when Ryan and I were there visiting. But it was really cool because like you just send messages out and people took a whole bunch of time out of their days to come see me and hang out with me, including driving up from Iowa rather, and things like that. Yeah, no, it was kind of sucky too, right? Like the first few years, you feel the safety net of Concordia being around, and then you suddenly have to like deal with the real world. I don't know. It was different. It was tough because for me, like I had to go back to India too, so readjust to new friends, old friends, new way of doing things, efficiency level being different and things like that. So as seniors, like I just hope you get a chance to know what you're getting into, but know that there's no wrong answers, and it's not a problem to take as much time as you need to sort things out, because it's a lot better than just jumping into something and then making that a lifetime thing. It's really more important just to do what you like. I did a stint with a PR firm for a bit and a publishing firm for a bit, and I don't know. I realized like deep down I was an IR political science geek. So finally I got a chance to go back and do grad school, and then now I am doing a PhD. So it's an interesting time too. So, but yeah, what were you, Ryan? You jumped into the real world, working world almost immediately. What was it like for you and married life and stuff?
Yeah, so I would definitely echo what David said. Stay in touch and don't just hope other people will also stay in touch. Like, you have to actively be the one to stay in touch. And I also have really failed at that on some senses. So I would also like to take a quick second to apologize to everyone that I haven't stayed in touch with and plead that reach out to me. I'm happy to continue getting to know you as you are 5 years out now and see what you're like and go for coffee or a beer or something and hang out. For the people just graduating, another piece, or seniors this year, I guess, one piece of advice I'd give, if it's at all possible, try and get an internship or do some sort of work related to what you want to do. This is good, I think, for two reasons. One, it's experience you put on your resume that immediately kind of brings you to the top of the pile. It's hard applying when you have no experience, and don't let that get you down, but it helps to have that experience. But also, it tells you if you're really going to enjoy that or not. And it might seem late to switch a major or something like that, but compared to spending the rest of your life doing something that you find out late you don't enjoy, now is a really good time to at least figure out if you're going to enjoy that.
Right.
A related piece of advice, go to the Career Center. I didn't go to the Career Center enough, and I think they can help you practice interviewing and filling out your resume and stuff, and just go out to the Career Center, ask them for some help, check it out. If you don't get anything out of it, you wasted maybe a half hour. If not, if you do get something out of it, it could really help your career get started. So I guess that'd be my other piece of advice.
Fantastic. All right. So I know it sounds like we are on a panel to a whole bunch of prospective students and current students, but that part of it is now done. We're going to be talking directly to you, our classmates, Concordia class of 2011. Gentlemen, what do you want to tell our classmates now? You can be specific, or you can be as general as you would like. So, David, over to you.
Oh man, adulting is hard.
Yeah.
So hard.
Right? No kidding.
No, there's you got bills, loan payments, all those things. It's just we're there, we're in the thick of it, and there's no end in sight. No, I'm just kidding. No, it really is great. Just last night, actually, I met up with some other cobbers. I met up with Matt Vold and Alex McIntyre. They're in town for the Ryder Cup, cheering on the U.S. So met up with them, and we had some time reminiscing. And it's always the connections that we made at Concordia are just so phenomenal that we can just call someone up and get together for a meal when you're in the area, and it's like no time has passed.
Yeah.
And I just encourage that anytime anyone's in the Twin Cities or anything, get a hold of me, get a hold of Ryan. We're always up for, even if it's just going out for, like Ryan said, going out for a coffee or going out for a beer. It's incredibly easy to do. And, obviously we're busy with work and things now, but work only goes until 5:30 for me. But after that, there's no homework anymore. There's nothing to worry about at night. So no, it's been a phenomenal time since Concordia, and I attribute that to the great experience that I had at Concordia too. It prepared me for the grad program that I was in, and now in my job that I'm in currently. So it's just been a wild ride.
Very true. Ryan, what about you?
And like I kind of mentioned earlier, I seriously do miss Concordia. Like the community of everyone that you know and want to be around pretty much during that time, being within like a 2-block radius of you is so fantastic, and I seriously miss that now. Not being able to talk to and connect with so many of the people that I was so close with throughout all of Concordia, it's sad, but at the same time, like any chance I do get is always so awesome. Getting together for either short periods of time or hang out for longer periods of time. Like when you got to come and visit in 2014, Sudhir, that was so awesome. It was like going back to Concordia for a week, People were so visiting, awesome. We got to see so many others, and it was just great. on a sort of related brief side topic, you, Sudhir, posed a sort of related question to this of what does it mean to be a cobber today?
Yeah.
And I think on that note, the being engaged in the world, that's like part of Concordia. It's what everyone knows is you want to be engaged and have an influence. And so in our current state, that's no matter what side you believe in, learning about the current politics, figuring out who you really support. Don't just believe stuff posted by friends and family and news and whoever. Really learn it. See who you really would back and who supports your beliefs. Try and figure that out. Be a critical reader. Know what's going on in the world and what you can take with a grain of salt and what you can really trust. And then the last thing is always keep learning. Use that liberal arts degree. I've found so many things that it's impossible to learn in college, but because of what I learned in college and the way we learned has just taught me how much I enjoy learning other things still. Even if it's completely unrelated to my career, I love that. Getting to practice woodworking and other things that
and beer making too, don't you?
And beer making. I have done that. So much
Me
fun.
too. I'm also brewing beer now, right?
What? I'm so far behind.
I think that requires a get together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, give me 18 hours. I'll be there. I echo everything you guys say. I think for me, it was like the times I miss most, and I'm very proud of this one distinction I had at Concordia. I missed mixed Thursdays only once each term senior year. And even times where I literally was dying with a flu or something, I would like get my butt out of bed and make it down to mix and stuff like that. But such fantastic times with that. And sort of like the camaraderie that was there, this whole like the world is never gonna consume us. I feel bad that it has, unfortunately, but you kind of knew it was gonna happen. But I'm grateful for every single second we had together, and since then, all the other moments. Not that I'm a stalker, I promise, but I follow a lot of you guys on Facebook, and I'm very happy to see engagements, weddings, babies being born, postgraduates being done, just marathons being run. Holy crap, how do you guys do that? Not that any of the other things are difficult, but yeah, it's just fantastic being the Carver family. I've been away from Concordia since we graduated, basically, and I've got a chance to catch up with Carvers all over the place in India and London, and it makes me so happy. Generally, it's strange, even though you didn't spend that much time with people for such a long time. You're always able to connect and bond over almost just the most random things, and I think that's the value of your Carver time there. So. I hope the class of 2011 has similar stories and similar experiences. But yeah, it was not a bad time at all since then. So we are about done with reminiscing, but I had a quick question. I'm going to put both David and Ryan on the spot. As a gratitude to Concordia, if you had a decent chunk of money to give, and I'm not talking like 33 million off it type money, but if you had a sizable amount of money you wanted to give Concordia, what would you want them to name after you? And go. I'm going to say, Ryan, you go first.
All right. So first, it would be fun to have the new math building, which they are either building now or still trying to fund. I would definitely put it toward that if I had sizable amount of money. If I had like unlimited amounts of money where I could create what science could do, I would clone 10 of Dan Biebighauser and donate him as every one of them a professor, because there are never enough of Dr. B out there.
Well done. David, have you thought of an answer, or do you want me to go?
You can go ahead. I'm still pondering.
Awesome. If it were possible, I think it's still awkward for a Scandinavian college out in Minnesota to have a Selvaraj Hill or a Selvaraj Pond, so I'm going to leave that at Olin and Prexy's. But what I would do is have all the furniture down in the atrium have a little plaque behind it which said Sudhir Selvaraj 2011 sat here. And I feel like that would be important because we spent a grotesque amount of time down there. And it was fun because we got to be creepers and see everybody pass by and things. So yeah, look forward to placing your fine butts on the Silverage chairs at some point in time. David, your turn now.
All right. Man, I would say the biggest thing would be I would donate it just to the residence halls, honestly. The first, especially those first 2 years when everyone's on campus, I think there's so much connecting that goes on within the residence hall on people's floors and everything that I think that's where I would go. I would, it sounds kind of corny as I use the corn pun, but it sounds corny. But being in res life and everything, I think I would donate it either to residence life or just to the residence halls to make sure that everything's kept up. Everything is as fantastic as it was when we were there, because I think the residence halls really make up for a large portion of everyone's experience at the college.
Yeah.
So I think I would have to go straight to the residence halls.
So Bowman Hall, is that what we're thinking of?
Yeah. We'll
that'd be cool.
Construct a new one.
Sounds good.
Maybe they'll replace the International Center.
Whoa!
Will it have a Normandy though? Because as awesome as the maze is, I seriously missed the Normandy.
The norm. Oh yes, the norm.
Gosh. So there were a ton of things I didn't get a chance to talk about, basically because of paucity of time. Well, time in the International Center, time with another good flatmate of mine, James Ware, was always a great time. But staff meetings for all of us. And David and I were on staff for 3 years. Ryan was there for 2 years, and oh my God, staff meetings were just ridiculous. But yeah, I think now it's time to just go from my side, and this is my farewell parting shot. I'm going to give 30 seconds to each person. But for me, just thank you to everybody at Concordia. The 4 years I spent there was ridiculous. I can't say I loved every minute of it, but that's only because I wasn't smart enough to appreciate it at the time. Now in retrospect, it was probably the best time of my life. If I got a chance to do it all over again in a heartbeat, with a few modifications, maybe a few different classes, maybe with a little bit more sleep, and a few less jobs rather. Sorry. So yeah,
definitely classes with Sister Sean.
Oh my God, Sister Sean! 8 o'clock classes should never happen. That should never be a thing. So, all right, David, parting shots. What are you gonna say?
Oh man, it's been great reviving this radio show that we had a great time doing. But really, thanks for everyone that took the time to listen to our reunion show, and really look forward to seeing a bunch of you up at homecoming this weekend. Ryan and I are both going to be up there, so look for us at the parade, the football game, and at the worst beer hall that night. I believe that's where the reunion is going on, so we'll be around. Look for us. Let us know that you listen to the show, and I'll see you there.
Ryan?
All right. Also, thanks for everyone that is actually taking the time to listen. If you have made it this far into the podcast, you are by far in my top 10 favorite people, just hands down. Yes, a round of applause.
Woo! Yeah.
You guys rock. If you're not to this point and you listen to any of it, we'll probably still love you, but it's not a guarantee, I guess.
Not as much.
Yes, definitely look for me at homecoming. I'd love to talk with any of you, and if you're in the Twin Cities, shoot me a Facebook message or text me or whatever. It'd be awesome to get together with you guys and reconnect. I miss all of you. It's been fun.
Fantastic. And on that note, I'm going to say it is time for us to sign off. This has been Nutella Sandwich 5 years later. We hope to be doing a few more of these, so if you liked it, tune in and tell your friends. If you didn't like it, it'll be a great prank to tell your friends it's a great show and you should spend time listening to them. But from Sudhir, Ryan, and David, have a fantastic homecoming and see you soon, coppers.